All right, it was important to mention this because it seems there was, like I said, this is why you have to give yourself credit, study, and analyze. Take your time, be patient. I'm going to share the screen really quick. So we are looking at GPT, right? And here we're looking. I was giving some examples of accounting. We're looking at accounting in the sense of every credit has a debit and how to essentially zero out everything. Um, and so one of the things we're looking here is how making sure that what we have, as you see here, would match accounting principles, generally accepted accounting principles. Okay. Now, the issue came when it did this right here. It said create nothing without recording its equal opposite. And that didn't make sense to me. I said, wait, create nothing without recording its equal opposite. And so this is where I started to ask it. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And as you can see, it doesn't make sense. Create nothing without recording its equal opposite. How you create nothing without recording its equal opposite. All right. We know even in meditation, nothing is also something. Hey, later, Nani. And something is also nothing. The great nothingness has everything, and the great everything is also nothing. So just this didn't make sense. How you create nothing without recording its equal opposite. Its equal opposite is something. Okay, nothing has something, and something has nothing. Okay, so that's why we have plus and minus, minus and plus, ultimately just coming to a singularity point of zero. Okay, so this could be tied to the way calculations are made with ones and zeros. Um, it could have something to do with what Terrence Howard was saying with one multiplied by one should be two. Why is it one? Because even if you take what he said and you think of cellular reproduction, you have the grand consciousness, then it duplicates itself one circle around, and that's a duality, but it's still connected to the one. So it could be this error here, all right, which is also ones and zeros, could be tied to the way certain calculations are made in computing. So, anyways, I had to correct it, man, because it's like, I went like here. I said, I'm like, what got you to say create nothing without recording its equal opposite? And it said, because it's a distilled principle that underlies double entry accounting, trust law, even natural balance systems. Okay. So, and then it says, here's what led it to it. It wanted to bridge the understanding that there must be a minus and there must be a plus, essentially. Okay. So to tie all of it together, this does not that was the error. It tried to tie everything together using something that wasn't tying it together. Okay? So this definitely has something to do with, I believe it definitely has something to do with the ways certain computers use certain binary codes and mathematics, and how certain math or a certain version of math um, deals with it. But anyways, nonetheless, you can see when I'm like, I said, if we record credit and debit and it goes to zero, then opposite was recorded, was it not? And then it's like, yeah, you're right. Both credit. Look at this, man. It used it as a contrast example, but it did not make it clear that it was a contrast example. The only thing that made it clear that it was a contrast, aka a dualistic version, a variation coming out of the singularity, The only thing that made it a contrast or was able to recognize it as contrast was because I can recognize a contrast. Okay, and it didn't clarify that it's a contrast. Okay, let's go over here. Dual entry thinking. Yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, that definitely has to do with something with that thing that Terrence Howard mentioned. I really believe, because on a cellular level and in spirit, you have the one consciousness. When spirit duplicates itself or when a cell duplicates itself, one times one becomes two. All right. So there definitely is a correlation in there. Okay. So, but the two is still connected to the one. So this is how it's so interesting how that just shows like that, even in computer programming. All right. So yeah, then it fixes itself. Okay. But hey, ChatGPT developers, you may want to look into this. Yeah, and for people in general, just make sure you honor, like I said, plenty of times before. Hold on. Like I said plenty of times before, make sure you honor your own intelligence. Okay. Peace.